I want to take a few moments to share with you some of the successes that the I Am Melanin Magic hair brand is having. Jimmy here, along with his father, had been dealing with hair loss presenting as bald patches and thinning throughout his hair for over 10 years. He decided, by way of his girlfriend, to give I Am Melanin Magic a try. With consistent use of the I Am Melanin Magic Magical Hair Growth Serum, using it 5 days a week for 8 weeks, these are the results that he was able to get. I am Melanin Magic, and so are you.
Hello, beautiful butterflies and perfect people. I have returned. I have been fighting an infection. I'm so happy to be back. I'm happy to be here. Let's go ahead and dig in. I was looking at some of the comments. 444 is the time. I have been seeing angel numbers for the last month and a half, steady. 1111, 555, especially 444, 333, and 2222, and 33. If y'all want to dig into them angel numbers and some of the other stuff that has to do with floating around in the fifth dimension, go to my Butterfly Transformations channel where we're going to dig in. Today, this is going to be a very short video. I'm here to remind you that Sunday, because tomorrow is actually Saturday. Sunday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Sunday at 5 p.m., we are going to be having our live retie Zoom. Come on to the Zoom. We're going to discuss some of the fears related to retightening. We're going to talk to some of you all who are willing to pass on advice for those of you who have retightened, answer any questions, and hopefully do some demos. We'll be welcoming the lovely Priscilla tomorrow and the lovely Armada as well. I know that they are coming. Ali, if you are out there, give us a shout out and show up. It'll be tomorrow. It's going to be 5 o'clock again, Eastern Standard Time. Now keep in mind, it is Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast, so adjust your time accordingly. Today, I just briefly want to talk about how I'm progressing along my knotted locks journey. So that you know, I yesterday did install a new knotted lock right here. Okay, this hair has been driving me crazy for a long time. Okay, so I decided to install my own little makeshift knotted lock. We will see what happens. Okay, I did install another one here. This hair always, depending upon what I'm doing, it will thicken up. I've separated this lock 3 times over the career of my hair. This is the 4th time. So I have a little tiny one that is forming right here. Okay, we will see how that goes. Okay. Now, I did attach a little extension because it would be too short. And if it's too short, it's going to keep coming out. And if it's going to keep coming out, it's never going to grow. So you got to add a little something to it. And however you do that, that's for another video. But I did do a video on adding extensions to your hair, so you are more than welcome to take a look at it. Now, what have I been going through with my hair? You all know I've been using the Fearless Follicles and Root Rejuvenator. Now, this is the Fearless Follicles and Root Revitalizer, sorry. This is what it looks like. It comes in this bottle here, and it works best with this product here. The Magical Hair Growth Serum, which now has a different label. It's like a burgundy label or a deeper purple label. You're gonna put this on every day, at least 5 days a week, once you determine you can tolerate it. Now, I told you guys this, and I'll tell you all the time. This was made to have medicinal value. It does not smell like Chanel. It does not smell like, I don't know, Gloria Vanderbilt. I don't wear the perfumes from over here. I wear perfumes from Dubai. So it doesn't smell like any of that stuff. This is medicinal and therapeutic. Medicinal in the sense that it was created with the intention to help you to regrow hair, which it has done very successfully for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I'm blessed for that. Thank you, Spirit. Now, with this particular blend, because it has a black seed oil in it, that is the overwhelming smell that you will smell when using this. Use this 5 days a week. Start out with 3 the first week, and then if you can tolerate it, go 5 days a week, because that's what James did. James is the gentleman in the video that you see me running on a lot of the content on this channel, because he used it for 8 weeks straight, and he is only one of 2 men, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 men so far who use it regularly and consistently and who are getting results, because mostly the people who purchase this are all women. So I wanted to highlight him because he's a man, and men have a different type of patterned hair loss that is very difficult to treat. So if it's working for him, the likelihood that it may work for you is very high. Now you use this at night. Best stuff on the market is kombucha. This will allow you to give up soda, sweet drinks, and anything else. It is so good. It has only 8 grams of sugar, but you get 9 million live probiotics. It is delicious, and they need to be paying me for this, okay? But they're not. But I would give this a shout out on any day. They have one that's blueberry that is delicious, and this one, these are my favorite 2 flavors. This is the mango passion fruit. If you're having issues with your gut, you're going to want to try this, because remember, we've been told the last several years that the gut is the second brain. We now know that the gut is the first brain, that the information comes into the gut, similar to the heart, and it is decoded and uploaded to the brain by way of, I think it's the vagus nerve, I'm not 100% sure, but the point is, this thing actually controls so much more than we realize. If you have an unhealthy gut, you're going to have an unhealthy life. They are now linking 70% of mental illness to what is going on in the gut. And so much of what we're eating, i.e. the high processed food and the high fat and all of that, is really killing the gut. So beware. But after you go in with this in the daytime, when you go to bed at night, you're going to massage your scalp. Now, I've given you directions on how to do that on this label. You must follow these directions. You can also search my channel for Fearless Follicles or just Root Revitalizer and watch the video of the massage. You can also search my channel. You can put in Tunisia Ali and hair massage. And in that hair massage, I give you tips on which pressure points, which activity points you need to make sure you're hit. You need to make sure that you stimulate when you are trying to stimulate growth in certain areas. You will find when you touch certain points with just a little bit of pressure, you're going to feel soreness. Those points correlate with not only things in your body, but they are the pathways for oxygenation of your scalp. You can do all you want to do on the top of your scalp. If your scalp is not clean, it's not going to make as much of a difference. If your scalp is not getting the oxygen, it cannot get the nutrients and take those nutrients into where they are needed. So you want to prep by doing a 2 to 3 minute massage in the key areas that I direct you to. There are areas here, there are areas here, there are areas here, there's areas here and at the back. It's very important to do that first. You're going to get more bang for your buck if you follow the usage instructions. And then you're going to just go in, just make sure it's fully upside down, because if it's like this, you're not going to get anything out. And this is what I've been doing each day. So if you notice that my hair looks different, you're going to see that that is a great deal. That's a great part of it. And as well, so are the knotted locks. And I'm going to explain why. So you're just going to go in a circle in those areas. Very well. Again, make sure the hair is clean. So if you wash your hair weekly, wash your hair, make sure it's good and clean. Do this for a week or so. Wash it again and continue your oiling routine. You want to make sure that you can see this getting oily. That's going to let you know that your hair is taking it in. And that's all you got to do is do like this. And you're going to get the oil on you, okay? All you got to do also is look at this, and you'll know that the oil is being applied. But again, you want to make sure that it's fully going in, okay? And give yourself a moment to massage with the ball again. Your hands never have to touch this. Again, this is nighttime application. Please don't do this during the day. do it at night. It gets you in a routine of using one at night and one during the day in the problem areas. Now, can you use it somewhere else? Yeah, if you want. I have a lock or two, a couple back here at the nape of my neck where my hair density is a little bit different. These are 2 locks that were thinning right before I stopped the Sisterlocks, okay? They were almost imperceptible. Those locks that I tell you, you're not really sure that they're thinning, but something tells you that they are thinning. And then when you continue to monitor them, you're realizing, oh my God, it's thinning. And remember, your hair, your locks are like a forest. If one tree out here is burning, all the trees in the Amazon can feel what is going on with this tree and they are affected. So it doesn't matter if you're losing hair over here, you can also start losing hair over here, and somewhere else. All of your hair loss does not have to be in one area. Folks, we've got to think outside the box. So let's go ahead and get into the second part, which is, you see all of this up here? All of this is new. Okay, that's why I've put what, 1, 2, I've got 3. I did that day. I think you guys might have seen me 4 new locks. All of this is new. Now I'm gonna right up here near the front. You're gonna see me continue to. I've pulled some of it in. You're gonna see me continue to focus on this because I don't want to create any new locks. I just want to bring it into my knotted locks. But let me tell you what's going on at this particular point in my knotted locks journey, just on this part of my hair, because I don't want to talk too long. All right, when you have Sisterlocks, the locks are flat. And when they come out from the scalp, once they compress, they begin to grow in very flat. And when you pull the hair from the root, you will see that it's flat. It's simply flat. And all of the hair around it that you pull in is flat. Now, what I want you to think about, I want you to go back. And this can vary depending on your hair type or your wave pattern or how much kink you have in your hair. But if you go back to when you were grooming your hair, when you didn't have a relaxer, remember you could have very kinky hair. My sister had very kinky hair growing up, but she continued to go initially, I think, to the Dominicans, and they began to work with the hair and blow dried and blow dried and blow dried and blow dried to eventually it changed her texture and her hair began to grow in differently, meaning it began to actually grow out of the scalp differently. You might have noticed that with relaxers. Relaxers over time, because they penetrate, they actually begin to shift your wave pattern. And right now, you all know that many black women are coming after some of these companies and winning some of these lawsuits, because we now know that the chemicals used in relaxers are linked with cancer. So that alone will tell you that the chemicals are penetrating beyond what is obvious, and they're very toxic. So my point is that what I'm noticing now is that because my hair is not being pulled tight like this and it can relax, my hair is starting to grow in with a loop that I have not seen since I was a kid, before I was even getting relaxers. And I said, what is this? Since when is my hair doing this? It used to grow in, most of it straight like this, right? Like my baby hair down here, or the baby hair on this side of my hair. But it's growing in with a loop because my hair is able to get adequate rest in between relocking, but more importantly, it's not being pulled unnecessarily. And because it's not being pulled unnecessarily, because remember, Melissa always says your follicles should have no knowledge that you have relocked anything. They should not even feel it. Your follicles should feel no pain. Your follicles should be fearless. That's what I say. She says your follicles, they shouldn't even know that you have knotted your hair. So what you end up experiencing is happy hair, happy growth. And you start to experience that very early on. You all know I've only been at this journey for now maybe 3 months, and I'm already seeing the difference. I'm seeing my hair feel fuller, so it's starting to lay differently. and I'm able to see and feel that my hair is so much happier. And you all know I actually recently colored it. So, but my hair, I am expecting in another year, I'm being told that my hair is going to get a lot thicker. It's going to start to look more like it looked when I first had my Sisterlocks in years 3, 4, and 5. They were more like a mane, and then eventually my hair compressed. It got very tight. The locks dropped and matured at about 5 years for me. It took quite a bit, and the look of my hair changed. And now in many places of my hair, I have, some people consider high density hair. In other places, I have medium density. And then in some places, okay, and in some places up in here, I have low density hair. Meaning like when my hair is down, you can see through my scalp. But when I got the Sisterlocks, they increased the look and feel of my hair. And so I know my hair looks very, very, very dense to you. And for someone who actually legitimately has very fine hair, very low density hair, it may look like the difference between night and day. But I've seen some sisters that have what I really call super density hair, where the amount of hairs per square inch is double and triple my hair. Those are the ones who you may know who have 1,000 or more locks. Very, very high density hair, whether they are Microlocks or Sisterlocks or whatever else. But that's what I'm noticing, you all. And so I'm loving that, because when I relock my hair now, I never have the plucked chicken look, except if I go too tight to the scalp, which Melissa is working with me on, because I tend to go too tight to the scalp, and that's not good. I've got to leave hair out like maybe this amount, which would some of you might think would scare you. This is just an example, that not quite this much, but if you left this amount out, you wouldn't have a problem anyway. And the other thing I want to tell you is that the hair, although my hair has not fully started to set yet, I still have a few locks that I did very early that are in areas of my hair that are low density, like right here on the sides. And those particular ones are starting to blend in with this. So for those of you who are concerned, I gotta tell you, I don't think I have anything to be concerned about. I've got 1, 2, I got 3 knots here, and you can't even tell. Let's see if we can. Yeah, I can't, but when I edit it, maybe I'll go back and make it larger. You really can't tell. So Melissa was doing a video, an informational video on our support chat the other day, 1717, and that's the day that I was born. I will be 52, September the 17th. And so what you'll find is she was showing us where she messed up locks early on when she was just starting out on her own, and where she has locks that were perfect, and you can't tell the difference. In the locks that she did with good technique, it looks just like the entire rest of her lock, just like what I'm showing here. So I expect in the next year or so, you just simply are not going to be able to tell. The only place you're going to be able to tell is up here in the roots where they stand up. So your antennas, which is what your hair is going to be so much happier and so much healthier as you go down the road to your knotted locks journey. And I just wanted to give some of you a shout out, because a lot of you have been leaving comments. Many of you have also been in contact with Melissa, and she will text me and just let me know how many of you are calling in and signing up for a consultation. And I think that's really good, because I personally, I feel like she's going to be booked really soon, months out. She enjoys the one-on-one interaction and the personal touch. That is really important to her. It's also important to her that you have continued access to her throughout the journey. And I love that as well, because, hey baby, whenever I have a question, I don't have to worry. I don't have to search the internet and get misinformation and all of this. I can simply just reach out and go to the top of the food chain and get the information that I need. So we have Jade Virtual Business here. I'll be waiting for me, okay baby? 5 hours ago. Oh my gosh, I have been following Melissa for a few years. I even corresponded with her about my Sisterlocks. I am now ready to transition to knotted locks. I experienced some thinning in my crown and was on the fence about continuing to retighten. I just told my consultant that I'm going to leave the retightenings alone because my hair is thickening up and growing those thin areas, and I don't want to disturb that. I will be taking Miss Melissa's class soon, and that's something I wanted to point out. Many of you are using these products and you're getting great results. And then you're going back into the lion's den and you're sitting back in someone's chair who's too rough or has you on the wrong schedule for your hair, but has you more on a schedule that is sort of like a blanket panacea for everyone, instead of looking at your particular hair care needs and what maybe your hair can take and what your hair can't take. And as a result, you're going to lose your hair all over again until you get to a point to either where something like this takes much longer to renew and regenerate and restore your damaged follicles. Remember, it can take some people up to 4 years to restore follicles, and that's if and when they actually come back. Sometimes you can't get them back. So like this sister here is talking about, it's really important. It's so critical to know that it's something that you can actually get ahead of. This is a comment from Tina R. Jackson 3 days ago. Even though I can't afford to take the knotted locks training, I would love to see you do a couple of them so we can see how it's done. Not everyone will be able to afford the training, but would like to see how it's actually done. Here's the thing. Knotted locks is a particular technique. It is not something that I can show you at this stage of the game because I'm too new at it. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning, and it depends on your hair texture. When I say your knotted locks and your whole experience will be different because it's based on your unique hair fingerprint, your unique energetic fingerprint. That is what makes it so beautiful and so perfect. There's no panacea. There's no blanket way where I can tell you you need to have 10 rows with 5 locks and all of the ones back here are going to look like this and then these need to be, It's not going to work like that, and neither is the technique. It is very important that you get the proper training. I was highly frustrated during the training. Melissa and I laugh now. It took me longer than it has taken most of the people that she's ever trained to do Sisterlocks. I was almost in tears. I have a high frustration level. No shade to her because she was doing what she needed to do. It was me. I was the kid who used to throw my algebra book back in school because I couldn't get the concept like this. So I've always had a high frustration level when it came to certain things. And even as a grown adult like this, I haven't quite worked through all of those little blockages. So I'm still a work in progress. So if I could show you, I would have done that a long time ago. Believe me, you need to go to the horse's mouth and get it the right way. You also need to understand what you are doing because you are going to be responsible for your own hair, not me. All right, and I don't even want that responsibility. I need to see how my locks mature. I'm going to let you guys continue to follow me as we go through the journey. And remember, I'm going to tell you the same thing as what I tell you about the Sisterlocks. I've told you all if I had to do it all over again and I had to pay $2,000 for the locks and I paid $750, I would, because I thought it was worth it. When I was wearing them, I thought it was worth it. Now it's worth it because had it not been for Sisterlocks, I would have never been able to transition to knotted locks in the first place. There's no way I could have been open to knotted locks were it not for Sisterlocks. But I tell you, put $25 away or $50 a month. Build up slowly. Whatever you're paying for your cable or whatever you're paying for your Starbucks or some other place where there could be waste, just take that money and put it to the side so that when the time comes and you feel like you have enough information, you can reach out to Miss Blake's, because I'll tell you this, we can say we might not be able to afford it, but if you continue going down the path you're going down and you do start to lose hair earlier than maybe you had thought you might have, at that time it would have been a small amount or fraction of what you would be willing to pay for some redemption or to pay for a solution later on down the line. So never say can't. Manifest it and bring it into your world. Open up to it and let the divine express itself and lead you down the path that you want to go on. The only thing you need to worry about, honestly, is whether or not you want to do it and whether or not you can align with the energy of knotted locks. Because I'm telling you, and I'll tell you this again and again and again, it is a mindset, and it does require a mindset shift. And when I bring on Naka, and I'm going to speak with her a little bit later this afternoon. I may have missed her call. I hope I did not. Nope. She is the loctician, my second loctician who I go to in Atlanta. We did a beautiful interview, and I'm waiting to get her feedback on the interview, and then I'll post that one. She talks about Sisterlocks, and she says Sisterlocks is for people that need structure, that want the grid, that need the organization. And people who are like that, they're like that in other areas of their life as well. You have to be free-flowing and unafraid and willing to venture into the unknown in order to be satisfied and in order to have an appreciation for knotted locks. And if that doesn't sound like you, that's fine. Don't worry about knotted locks right now. Continue with Sisterlocks. It's a beautiful journey. It can work for you. I will still give you support on some of the things that you can do to keep your hair healthy and some of the things that you need to consider as your locks get longer and as you've been in the game longer. And then maybe there'll come a point where certain things that you were very convicted about and very fixed on will begin to shift, and you'll begin to loosen up and be a little bit more open. As long as you can afford Sisterlocks, if you have Sisterlocks, you can definitely afford knotted locks because it's a fraction of the price. And it's just that simple. And you can afford it because you'll never have to do another retightening and pay someone else for the rest of your life. If I could, and which I do, retighten my locks in an hour and a half and be chilling, or 2 hours, because you're doing in 60 seconds, you can do 15 to 20 locks if you so choose. Just imagine, that's 10, 15, 20 locks every minute. You're gonna get those locks out of the way faster. And that's me being very lenient and very flexible. Technically, you can do more than that, a lot of people, depending upon how fast you're moving and how good you get with the technique. So do reach out to Ms. Blakes. Her information, I think now, will be in my description for the next few videos. Don't forget to show up for our self-retightening, which is Sunday, okay? It's Sunday. I can't wait to see you on the channel for the Zoom. For those of you who will miss it, I will make sure that I eventually publish it to the channel. It may take a few weeks. In the meantime, I will put the link in the comment section to this video. I will pin it, and then I will also post an additional information post in the community tab for this channel. Love you guys. I hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope that you are feeling peaceful, productive, prosperous, on purpose, living passionately and in your power. I love you guys.